Draft season, baby, and it's Colts time. Guys, here is second episode of this. We'll be previewing all 32 teams prior to the draft. Here is a quick summary. So if you just come to take a quick glance at what the team needs are, here it is. If you want to dig deep, let's dig in with me. We start with a QB room. To me, this is a room that, in terms of what you have invested compared to the results, is arguably the second worst room in the NFL. I would say only Falcons have them on top, because you have spent top 5 pick in Denton Richardson. He's been dreadful so far. He re-injured himself last year, and it really seems like they have moved on. And you have Daniel Jones, who they committed for next 2 years, because they kind of had to. Though, did they? I really feel like Kyler Murray for $1.5 million a year would have been a much better option, but they trust Daniel. And he was really great for them, start of the year. But, I mean, for a top 5 draft investment and spending around $50 million on a room, you would like to be much better than Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. But, still, in terms of draft need, you have clearly made your moves. This is what you are going with. And it's a tier 3 need at this point of the time. Not because the room is great, but because it's soft and you have pushed your chips in the middle of the table. In terms of running backs, I would say Jonathan Taylor is still exceptional, but the workload that he's been enduring in the Colts uniform has been starting to show. Some of the injuries as well. If you are hearing scratching noises, I'm sorry, my cat has a habit that every time I start to speak English, she just does it. I cannot stop it. Hopefully her stamina will fall off. Sorry for the noise. Back to the running back room. The problem is, if you want to preserve him at least to a degree, you need an RB2. And this room does not have it. With running backs, I don't think like you need to plan a succession. It's really the room that can be solved during every offseason pretty much, whether it's through free agency or through the draft. But at the same time, if you have a great guy like Jonathan Taylor undoubtedly is, not having anyone that I would trust to lower the baggage is an issue for me. So that makes it a tier 2 need in terms of the Colts. Now, wide receivers, letting go of Michael Pittman, I kind of had no problems. I felt like he was slowing down and his production did not match the price tag. Renewing Alec Pierce, great move. He's the best pure deep threat in the league. And you have Josh Downs. So it really seems like there is good enough in terms of this room. But Josh Downs only has 1 year left on his contract. He's going to get pricey. Not Alec Pierce pricey, but very pricey. You do have trouble in terms of salary cap. And let's be honest, behind these two guys, you kind of don't have much. So that really makes it a tier 1 need for me, because you want to be in 11 personnel, you kind of don't have wide receiver 3, and come to next year, you might not even have wide receiver 2. So they should really invest premium, in my opinion, towards this room. With tight ends, you've made your move, Tyler Warren, and he's been exceptional. It was a dream fit for Tyler Warren and the Colts, and let's be honest, it absolutely played that way in his first year. He was, it was not Brock Bowers' first year. It was not Kyle Pitts, but it was not much short of at least the Pitts one. Now, here, need, in my opinion, is tier 3. You have a couple of veterans that do coexist with Tyler Warren well, and the room feels fixed. I would encourage them to really think in terms of this room, blocking specialist, 4th, 5th round. You can find guys that can be your tight ends too for years to come. They will be cheap on rookie deals, and it really feels like the league has been undervaluing this type of prospects. It could change because we have seen an increase in 12 and 13 personnel last year, so perhaps there is going to be more of a run, but in past years, there would have been really great examples of very nice value picks. So this is one that I, despite having a tier 3 need, I would be a little bit sorry if they did not address. Now, we come towards the offensive line of the Colts, where they are doing one hell of a job turning starters from late rounds, whether it's Bernard Reinman, Tanner Bortolini, Matt Goncalves. they are special in terms of developing their O-line. And we have seen last year, they were like, okay, Will Fries, you want money? Bye-bye. Ryan Kelly, injuries, you want a lot of money, you are experienced veteran and you deserve them, but we cannot afford it. And as well, like Mancon Calves, Tanner Bortolini, and it freaking worked. Like, honestly, I would say they got better production on these two guys on rookie deals than Vikings get from Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, that they have invested like 35 a year into. So, damn good job. Now, they have lost Brandon Smith, but it really feels like Jalen Travis could be the option that they're going with. And with any other franchise, pretty much, I would be like, that's quite a risky move. Here, I kind of trust it. So everywhere else, tackle would be like high tier 2 need. Here, I would just call it high tier 3 because I have an utmost trust and respect towards Colts' development of the offensive line. I like Jalen Travis in pre-draft posters last season, and I feel like when he played last year, he was damn solid. So, I'm not saying you cannot or should not invest in this room. I feel like Colts do believe that they might have their answer. In terms of interior, it's slightly worse because Quentin Nelson, one of the best guys in the league. Tanner Bortolini, as we talk, great development and your starting center of the future. The same goes with Matt Calves. My issue is, who after that? Dalton Tucker, like undrafted free agent that has been like, solid-ish when you needed to start him, but not a real answer. And behind that, I don't know. I don't really feel like you have too much. And when you consider that the payday for Bortolini and Goncalves are going to come sooner rather than later, and how good you are developing late round picks, this feels like a no-brainer. Invest third round, tier 2 need, into backup now and starter later. Switching to defense. The major point is defensive line or is it not? In terms of edge, you have Latu, and he is exactly what you needed him to be. First year, he was good. Second year, he really started to reach the level that you can be confident if Latu is your best edge rusher. You have depth behind him, and with Latu, you have a lot of upside in terms of, this room can get absolutely better. So I don't really see the need to invest there. Unlike with the interior, here the starters might be even more ready in DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. But at the same time, the way that Colts have approached this room in past couple of seasons has been infuriating. They pretty much did not invest any, run Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner to the ground. Inevitably, they both at some points of the season got injured, and their replacements were just like really bad in terms of NFL level. Like nothing against you guys, you are trying your dumbest, and you are 20 times athletes that I am. So this is no disrespect. But in terms of were you able to replace Grover Stewart? Fine. Hell no. DeForest Buckner? Absolutely not. And the only like some sort of investment was Adebawore, like 3 years ago it's in right now, who a lot of people liked. He just did not pan out so far. Last year, he got some snaps and he was not that bad. At the same time, you cannot count on him as more than DT4, which should suggest you finally should freaking invest in this room, especially when you know that both of the starters are coming there with an age and have only 1 year left on their deal. So man, this is a tier 1 need if I ever seen one, even though the room should be like sort of fine for 26. Now, linebacker feels the same. There are bodies there. There are converted safeties, like Jalen Carlisle. And if there is like one room that perhaps people think you can get by with being like really meh, it's a linebacker room. At the same time, I would argue with 12 and 13 personnel, it's getting much more exposed in terms of at least you need from that room to really be big and defend the run, because the run game has taken slightly over in the last couple of seasons. And when you have your primary answers as guys that have converted from safeties, That's not going to be their strong suit. So to me, this is another tier 1 need, and Colts are starting to pile up with them. Now, in terms of their secondary, they have made their move there. It was acquiring Sauce Gardner. And I think Jets won that trade. I said it at the moment that the price was just too freaking massive for a guy that has been astonishing first 2 years. I had him as the best corner in the league. Ever since that, he's been top 10. I would not say top 1. I think I lowered him slightly to top 3, top 5. Right now, top 7 feels like a borderline where I would have Sauce Gardner. Nevertheless, with Charvarius Ward, you have another great room to, let's say, rely yourself, and with hopefully the pass rush of Latu really coming to be exceptional, the backend should be also your strong bone. They have brought several veterans in Cam Taylor-Britt, Mekhi Blackman. They also have Jalen Jones, Charvarius Ward, and Kenny Moore as your slot. There is plenty of bodies. Is the room necessarily secured for next year? No, but at the same time here I just not necessarily look forward to fix it right now, because there's just too many goddamn bodies to really care about that, because you can prolong them. It's not like the age is the biggest factor for some of the players. And final one is the safeties. They're kind of low tier 2. You have Cameron Bynum, and that's pretty much it. Again, there's a couple of bodies that you can call upon, and if they are your safety too, you can, I guess, live by. At the same time, is it necessarily the world you want to live in when Hunter Waller, let's say, is your starter? With Colts, they will probably have to come towards these decisions, because without the first round pick, their options come draft day will be limited. Will they spend higher picks towards safety, towards linebacker, towards DT? Some of the room will not get the care that, in my idea, they absolutely need. Is it necessarily bad? No, but Colts are kind of trying to chase the smoke, trying to go for it, but at the same time, we are going for it with Daniel Jones after tearing ACL, aging interior of the defensive line, Sauce Gardner after bad injury. It's going to be hard, and you have made your move, so they really need to hit this draft despite not having a first round pick. Thank you for listening, and see you for the next episode.